And hello there. We'd like to welcome you into the Philly and Fred show for Thursday, March 25th, 2026. And on today's show, we're going to start out talking a little college basketball first. And the first thing we're going to talk about from the first two rounds of the tournament, what in the hell was Florida thinking? You press. And then not only do you press, the number one rule in that situation is don't let them catch the ball going towards their bucket. They do that. What's another just basketball rule? Don't help off the strong side shooter. They do that. What do they give up? The one thing that can beat you when you're up two, and that's a three. What were your thoughts on the decision to press, the game plan? I mean, let the guy catch it, helping off the shooter. Like it feels like they were like they did everything wrong in that scenario right there.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I don't know why they pressed. Just play play out in the half court, and yeah, like you said, you're up to just let them take the layup at that point after you got beat instead of letting up the wide open three. So I did not understand that at all, and ultimately that's what got Florida beat. But I feel like they should have took off, before that anyways. But yeah, don't know the decision making there.
Yeah, I mean that. And really, if you look at the game, they should have lost that game. Like Iowa outplayed them.
Yeah, they
And I thought with that front court, that front court would never get outplayed. They got outplayed. They got out physical, outmanned. Like I never thought that Florida team would let that happen. They did. And that coach for Iowa, I mean, shout out that coach. Is it McCollum?
McCollum. Yep.
Yeah, shout out McCollum for Iowa. That dude, I think, has an 80% winning percentage as a head coach. He's done it at the D2 level. He's done it at the mid-major level. And now in his first year, he's got this team in the Sweet 16, already beating one of the best teams in the tournament. Like, got to give that guy a shout out. He's a heck of a basketball coach. And I mean, if he could do this in year one at Iowa, why can't he keep doing this and keep growing it? Really? Yeah, that was like we said, biggest upset so far. Florida out of the tournament. I thought I had them in the Final Four, but that's what's great about the NCAA tournament. It's only one game. Next was the North Carolina decision to fire Hubert Davis the right one, and I think it was. I mean, you're North Carolina, you're a blue bud. Round of 64 exit, round of 64 exit, Sweet 16, and a missed tournament in the last four tournaments don't make up for going to the national championship the first year. Like, I don't care that you made the national championship because I'm a Kentucky fan, so I get like the blue blood thought. So 4 years, and that's what you get in the 4 years. I think it was the right decision. Did you think it was the right decision to fire Hubert Davis?
Yeah, I don't think it was the right decision to fire Hubert Davis. And after the VCU loss, I did think it was time to fire him. But now I'm kind of holding back. He was in his fifth season. He had won 20 or more games in all 5 seasons that he was there. I get his postseason, you know, flaws kind of held him back there, but you also didn't have your best player in Caleb Wilson, so I think that had to do with a big part of that this year. And you had a bad coaching decision in the loss to VCU, but ultimately, I think his window should have been closing, but I don't think it was time just yet. You had a lot of success in the regular season. You just won ACC Coach of the Year 2 years ago, so I don't think it was just time for Hubert Davis to get fired.
Well, the crazy thing was, like, if you would have told Hubert Davis in North Carolina a couple years ago where they were, or not a couple, if you would have told North Carolina and Hubert Davis where they were a couple weeks ago when they were about to get Caleb Wilson back and they were winning some games, Caleb Wilson was just about to come back, and then he messes his hand up and he's out for the year. And now they don't win a single game and he gets fired. I mean, they were I think that they were top 15, get Caleb Wilson back,
Mm-hmm.
and he's out for the year. Something Hubert Davis cannot control. And I mean, that doesn't officially get him fired because, I mean, you did blow an 18-point lead or whatever it was to VCU, but
Mm-hmm.
that has to be considered. You didn't have your best player. That's just got to be put in the fortune. But he's
Agree.
out. We'll see who Carolina can get. They're a blue blood, so
Big
They're going to be
job.
swinging for the well, yeah. But this is a question I also have, and I'll give my answer to it. But I think the thought of the blue blood getting the head coaching job of the blue bloods changed drastically. Like I don't think it meant what it once was with NIL and the transfer portal and all that. Like I don't think players or head coaches really care about the blue blood and the tradition. I think they care about how much money can you pay me and can you give me an opportunity, and in the head coaching position, can I get the administration to really help me out? Like, what's your thought on that? But like, I think the blue blood, I think it's not dying because it's still like a different tradition, but people care about money and opportunity now. But what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I totally agree. Everything is money, 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 especially when it comes to college nowadays. And then I think a big factor in that also is just all the legendary coaches we've lost in the last 5 to 10 years. You just don't see the great amount of coaches that we once had, all the Hall of Famers that we once had. So I don't think it is anything like it was once was with the Blue Bloods. Like Mark Pope, like no offense to Kentucky at all, but 10 years ago there's no way he's getting that Kentucky job. So I
Fair?
totally agree there.
Oh no, absolutely not. I mean, that's just I've had that thought lately, like because Kentucky had the same problem a couple years ago. Kentucky swung for the fences, and everyone said, "No, I got a good thing going here. I got the money." Like the tradition doesn't matter. Not that I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but tradition doesn't have the same effect it had how many right before NIL in the transfer portal. But
All right.
yeah, I think it's going to be tougher for blue bloods like it used to be back in the day when a blue blood job opened. Who do we want? We want that guy. All right, here you go. We're going to pay you the most. We got this tradition, these facilities. He's definitely going to come. Now, you don't know if a guy's going to come. Most guys won't because the school just up their NIL they're at and give them an extension. So, yeah, I think the blue blood's not what it once was. Next topic here. Should there be a concern with Acuff's defense? Because I'm not gonna lie, that high point guard, he's a heck of a guard. He's got some quickness to him. First step, but I mean, Acuff got cooked, and if a high point guard's doing that, it might be bad news when he gets to the NBA. But my counterpoint to that is he's so good offensively. I think he might be the best offensive player in college basketball because not only can he score 30, he can get you 10 assists. He can create for others, man. But and he ain't got to be great on defense. We discussed this before the show. Just be okay because with your offense, if you're okay on defense, we can make up for that on the other end. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. And I got to thinking of the some of the really good guards in the NBA that have a great offensive game but aren't good defensively. Guys like De'Aaron Fox, Darius Garland, and Darius Acuff can score the ball so well that he just has to be average on defense. He doesn't have to be a lockdown defender. So I don't think him not being the greatest defensively right now is going to affect his draft stock. That's something that can be fixed when he gets to the next level. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, yeah, because I saw people saying like he's going to get killed in the NBA, and it's like, well, I mean, Steph Curry got killed in the NBA when he started, and Acuff's so good on the offensive end. Like if he has 30 points and 11 assists, if he makes up 55 points, I mean, even if he gives up 25, 30, he's still a net positive by a lot. So yeah, like I think he's so good offensively. He's a stone cold killer. The tough shots he hit in that game, clutch shots, I don't think that should tank his draft stock too much. Next thing on here to discuss. Oh, it's sad, but NIL has killed the Cinderella. I mean, the only double digit seed left is Texas. So I don't want to hear Cinderella when I hear Texas because we know they're absolutely loaded with money. And I think it's been the last 2 years, there's only been one double digit seed, and I think it has. I think the NIL and the transfer portal has killed the Cinderella. What's your thoughts?
The NIL in transfer portal has definitely killed the Cinderella runs. This is the third time ever that no mid major has made the Sweet 16. Last year was the second time, and then another time in the '90s. So that just goes to show you 2 straight years of basically just chalk. When we're filling out these brackets, I mean, you might as well go all chalk now because you're barely seeing any upsets at all, and it's just not the same as it was. It's not much madness in the March anymore. So it's definitely not as fun to watch, and I hope the NCAA is like realizing that, and hopefully some changes come in the next few years.
Well, but the problem is now I don't think it's going to get any better because with revenue shares, the bigger public schools, I mean, they're just going to make more money.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
they're just going to have even more money to spend. And with the transfer portal, like it used to be, oh, we found a gym. We're High Point. We found a gym. Look at this. Oh, now that guy that's a gym, he just plays at Gonzaga the next year. He plays at Kentucky. Like,
Right.
even if it used to be like if you find a gym, he's not normally going to transfer because he's got to sit out a year. But now with the transfer portal, oh, they're going to pay me triple what you're paying me, and I can go there right now. Why not just go to Blue Blood? So yeah, I think that it's a combination of NIL and transfer portal that's really hurt March Madness in general. And people try to say like, oh, look what it did for Illinois, or not Illinois, but look what it did for Indiana football. But that's a completely separate. I mean, Mark Cuban is a former Indiana alum, so like they have money.
Right.
It helped them, but that's not going to help mid majors or help other candidates that don't make the money these other schools have. Oh, this next one. Oh, buddy. Uh, I guess people forgot what they said a couple years ago when they said Kentucky should get rid of John Calipari because literally just a few short years ago when he lost to Oakland after losing to St. Peter's, after losing or winning one tournament game in 5 years, people said, oh, that's not the Kentucky standard. We don't like you, John Calipari. We think you should get out. But now that he's went to the Sweet 16 back-to-back years at Arkansas, people are saying Kentucky's idiotic for letting go of him. What are your thoughts on that, Billy? Saw a lot of that this weekend.
Yeah. People just trying to make up for the loss, but like I think Calipari's time was up with Kentucky. Like you said, have one tournament win in 5 seasons, and it felt like he just wasn't getting that top tier talent like he was when he first got to Kentucky. So I think it was definitely like a mutual thing with Kentucky fans and Calipari with him deciding to leave and go to Arkansas, and just because Pope hasn't been as good the first 2 years as Calipari started in his tenure with Kentucky. Like I think he still can get some players in. I know y'all had the most expensive roster this year, but I think Pope will be just fine. So yeah, in Calipari, yeah, I think it was time for him to leave.
Yeah, and I love Calipari because Calipari returned Kentucky basketball to what it was when my dad was younger. Because that's what I heard growing up. I saw Billy Gillespie was my first head coach I saw. So Calipari brought us back to blue blood status, and I always loved Calipari, but it was just time to go. He wasn't winning. He wasn't doing the Kentucky standard. Him and Mitch Barnhart were at odds, so I mean that was another problem. So like, yeah, I think it was time. Love Calipari still. We'll see with Pope. He's had some injury luck not go his way, so we'll see. But yeah, I seen that a lot this weekend. Oh, Kentucky's idiots. And it's like, I think you say he you didn't
Mm,
like him and he was a terrible
right.
head coach, and that's not the Kentucky
Yeah.
standard. How long you guys going to stand for this? But but it made me realize maybe people hate Kentucky more than Calipari, which I'm a
Yeah.
fan of. Yeah. Next, we're gonna have a little NBA talk here. The first one, I mean, I see Knicks fans saying they're going to win it all. I still think the Knicks are frauds. I mean, they beat a bunch of bad teams on their win streak. They played two good teams before the win streak, lost both of them, and I don't think the Knicks are ever going to make a championship because they have a small guard that plays like James Harden. And if Jalen Brunson, my fault, the Knicks are frauds because if Jalen Brunson or James Harden can't take a team to the NBA Finals, Jalen Brunson definitely can. Because they play the same. Like they're ball dominant. They will pass, but I mean, they're looking to score. They're ball dominant. They're going to have it in their hands most. Everybody else just kind of sits around. I, I think they're still frauds. I do not believe in the Knicks, even with this win streak. What's your thought?
I agree. The Knicks are definitely fraudulent. And Cat, I think a big part of that, Cats took a big step back this year. So they don't really have a solidified number two. And like you said, Brunson, he can't play off the ball. So when he doesn't have the ball in his hand, that allows for, defenders to kind of just kind of clog up space and yeah, the spacing's not right when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Markel Bridges hasn't really been the same in all these role players. So the Knicks, I don't see them being a true contender. They look like a completely different team from last year. So
Yeah, because the thing with the Knicks is like you thought going into this year with the Knicks, okay, the Celtics are out of it, the Pacers are out of it. Two of the teams you've struggled with, even though you beat the Celtics last year, but you've lost to the Pacers, so both them teams are out of it. But then I mean now we're almost to the playoffs, and the Pistons have only played one playoff series, but I trust them more. The Celtics, they still look like the Celtics. Now Jason Tatum's back. He's getting into the fold before the playoffs. And the Cavs got James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, which I might trust more than any backcourt in the East. So you went from looking like the favorite to, I think, the fourth best team in the East. So yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity. I think the Knicks, I like Jalen Brunson. I really do. I think he's a good player. But like I said earlier, if James Harden couldn't win an MVP playing like that, or if James Harden couldn't win a championship playing like that, I don't think Jalen Brunson.
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Next, I thought about this watching one of their games because he's absolutely balling right now. But will Luka be the best player to never win an MVP? Because it feels like he's not going to win one. I went back and looked at a couple of his seasons where he's been 33 plus points, 8 plus assists, 7 plus rebounds, and leading a team that's not that talented to a high seed. This year, he's literally might win the scoring title. He's dragging a team that everyone said stunk to the third seed, and he's not even really a top candidate for MVP. It's Shea and for Wemby. But will he be the best player to never win an MVP? Because it feels like he's not gonna. So do you think he'll be?
It's potentially, and these people say the MVP it's not a team reward, but it seems like every year the MVP, the runner up, you have to be on a top 3 or 4 team is what it seems like. So we've seen it with Shea, Joker, Giannis. Like all their teams were great, and you see with Luca, obviously with the Mavericks, team wasn't great, even though he carried them to the conference finals. Now he has the Lakers in the third seed right now, so I think his MVP stock is going up. But obviously, I think at this point, if Shea doesn't miss any more games, he's gonna get it. But yeah, Luca, he's had all the stats to get up there in the MVP, but I just don't know if his teams will ever be good enough to get that 1 or 2 seed to where he can actually say he's the best player on the first or second best team in the NBA. So
Yep, I had the same thought there. I had another thought watching this guy's game the other day. I mean, is the only way Wemby doesn't become the GOAT is injuries because, I mean, he's the best defensive. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and he already should have won one, but he's going to win it this year. And offensively, I mean, he's evolved his game. He's unstoppable. He's got the off the dribble three. He's got the catch and shoot three. He's getting stronger. He's finishing at the rim. And I mean, he's just a freak. Like, I don't see, besides injuries, how he doesn't become the greatest of all time. What are your thoughts?
I'm with you. Without injuries, Wemby, he can definitely finish in that top 5, top 10 category. Because, like you said, his build, he literally can be unstoppable. Like 7'5", can shoot, can dribble, and just insert his dominance at any point in time in a game. If he gets those championships and those MVPs, then yeah, Wemby will definitely be in that GOAT conversation.
Yeah, I was just watching his game, and I was like, I think he's up to 27, 28 points this month. I think 10 rebounds and 4 blocks.
Yeah,
And he's still 22.
yeah,
So
it's
he's just, yeah. And defense, like, I, I've never seen a player already at 20. I'll say this. At 22, I've never seen a player affect the game defensively more than Wemby. Prior, it used to be AD because I'm not going to lie. Those championship runs with the Lakers, AD affected everything on the defensive end. It felt like every shot he affected. But Wemby is that times 3. He affects every shot they shoot.
Yeah,
And now he's getting better on the offensive end. So like, yeah, I don't. There's no ceiling on his potential.
not
Or
at all.
my thoughts to that. Yeah,
Would you try to shoot over him?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the like Mike thing and maybe just go between his legs.
Yeah, it's like
That
how do you even get 5 blocks a game? Like, why do people keep on trying to shoot over him? Like, I don't get. I don't.
but I mean, at some point they got to shoot it.
Yeah, right. I,
Like I mean, at some point, like if the shot clock's running down, I know he's 7'6". I got to try it.
yeah,
And then sometimes they're probably like, oh, this is an open layup. And then they just see a slender man, like
Lord.
the slender man shadow, just
Yeah.
come behind him and take their soul. So, like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that guy's, he's something different. Another thought, this is honestly back to college basketball. How the hell did Duke not win that Final Four game against Houston last year? I was rewatching the last, like, 2 minutes of it. Duke was up 5. Houston got a technical with, like, I think 75 seconds. It might have been 4. It might have been even less than that. And they lost that game with Cooper Flag, Con Canupo, loaded roster, up late, got a technical, and they lost that game in regulation. I just watched it. Did you watch that and watch, like, have you seen it lately?
I need to rewatch it again.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I loved it. I love watching Duke lose. So, like, and it's fun for me. But I really honestly forgot. I was watching it when it happened, but I forgot how insane the loss actually was.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I'm not gonna lie, I was asleep during that game. I had Houston winning the championship, but yeah, when I woke up and saw that they had won and the way they had won, it was pretty crazy. So yeah, Duke definitely sold that one to say the least.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I was stunned, and I love watching Duke lose. I mean, that's one of my favorite activities. But the one thing I will say though, I hate Shire. Like with Duke, with Shire, and then the guys they've had, I do hate them less of late.
Yeah,
I
more than
will say,
yeah.
because like last year, I liked their players. So I think I'm going soft. I haven't hated Duke as much lately, but it was still fun to see them lose. It always because yeah. Next, I had this thought watching the Cavs game. I think Harden and Mitchell are the most trustworthy backcourt in the East because, I mean, they control that game. They scored it when they wanted to score it, and they created for others whenever they needed to. Mitchell has become such a good passer. I mean, he made a couple incredible passes in that game. So, like, I watched that game thinking, I mean, Harden and Mitchell, I picked them as my Eastern Conference favorite, but the more I watch them, the more I trust in Harden and Mitchell, and the more I think they're going to go to the finals. What's your thoughts on the Cavs backcourt?
Yeah, although I do think Jaylen Brown and Pritchard might be a little better. I do think just with the veteran presence that Mitchell and Harden present, I do think that I mean, if you look at all the East teams, there's not really many other backcourts that you can trust. So just with their veteran presence, even though neither one of these guys have got to the finals or won the finals, you got to think they have a real shot this year with the team that they have, and yeah, that both of these guys can will them there playing together the way that they have been. So yeah, I think that is the most trustworthy backcourt in the East.
But all righty, agreeing there. Next, well, actually, we'll stay on. Speaking of Harden, what is James Harden's legacy going to be when he's done? Because I mean, he's had seasons where he's put himself up with Wilt Chamberlain type numbers. He's scored 36 a game. He's won multiple scoring titles, and he's led the league in assists multiple times. But like nobody talks about him even as a top 3 player at his position, and he's put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. What are your thoughts on Harden? Like, what's his legacy going to be like when he's done?
Yeah, Harden's legacy, it's kind of tough to judge right now because, like you said, he's got the accolades and he's had a lot of historic seasons. Probably should have won the MVP back in 2018. Fell short of that, but I think for Harden, for him to be in that top like 50 category and top three at his position, I think he's got to win a championship. And like he hasn't been there other than the year at the Thunder. But if he was to get a championship, I think that would get his name talked about more. So, but yeah, it's tough to judge because like he's not really a likable person in the league, and people don't like the way he plays. He's played with a lot of different stars. So yeah,
Well, yeah, and another thing about his legacy is the no championships. But to be fair to him, he did play the Warriors when they had KD, Curry, Clay, Draymond. Because it almost feels like Charles Barkley. Like Charles Barkley, if you look at his numbers, he's got crazy numbers. He doesn't get the respect because he doesn't have a championship. But he ran into Michael and Pippen when the Bulls were at their best.
yeah.
So it's like, I mean, he doesn't have a championship, but can you blame him? It's kind of like that weird situation there, really.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Next, we will discuss. I was looking at it. I looked at his numbers. I think KD's the best scorer of all time. Like I've kind of wrestled with it, and I didn't. I went back and forth. Like pure score, I think he's the best scorer of all time. And I know MJ fans and Kobe fans. I know you're going to come after me because I've seen what you did after Bam scored 83. You go after people, but like I just don't think there's a better score because you look at those like the scoring points leaders, and you looked at field goal attempts. He was way lower than them at almost the same pace of them scoring the ball. I think he just picks his spots. I think there's not a better scorer of the basketball in the game of basketball. Do you think he's the best scorer of all time?
Yeah, I can agree. Katie is the best scorer of all time, and like that, when he gets on the court, like that's what he's doing. He's not trying to get other people involved. He's not crashing the boards. Like Katie was built to score, so that is his forte, and I think he's been the best at it that I've ever saw. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I think KD's the best scorer just because he's unlimited in his ability to score the basketball. He has everything possible, and he has the most one of the most unstoppable shots ever, which is that he's on the left or on the right wing, one dribble left, free throw line pull up. Like he
Mm.
never misses that shot, and he can get that shot whenever he wants. So, like, yeah, I don't think there's been a better scorer of the basketball in the game of basketball. Last but not least, Philly, pick your World Series since it's opening day.
Well, it's my bad. Repeat that. Did you cut out on the thing? My World Series winner or matchup?
Oh, can you pick the World Series matchup and then talk about your baseball team after the fact?
Yeah, my World Series matchup from the NL. It's really hard not to pick the Dodgers. I know it's a homer pick, but the amount of money they invest in their team each year, it's hard not to put them there. That you get the best outfielder in free agency in Kyle Tucker, and then the best closer in Edwin Diaz. So I think they should be the favorites coming out the NL. Out the AL, I'm gonna pick a little dark horse, and it's gonna be the Texas Rangers. And I just like what they've done with this lineup. We've heard a lot of talks about Wyatt Langford in the spring training, how he looks like a top 10 player. Get some other guys, Mackenzie Gore on that pitching staff. So I think Rangers are gonna make some noise in that AL West out there. So yeah, I'm gonna have Dodgers and Rangers in my World Series matchup. As far as my team goes in the Reds, I mean, I don't really expect much. I think right now we're on the outside looking in terms of people thinking we're not going to get in the playoffs. Obviously, we should have the Cubs and Brewers over us. I think Pirates, like what they've done. They've got a lot of firepower on the offensive end, but until we go after that splash guy, like I get it, we got Eugenio Suarez after he spent 7 seasons with us prior, but I don't know. We got a lot of young guys, which is good, but I don't know. We just don't have that star, in my opinion. Ellie still has to prove a little bit more that he can be a superstar. And we simply really don't have the pitching either. Hunter Green's going to start off on the IL. But I think we just kind of got a lot of mid guys after Andrew Abbott. So I think we'll be middle of the pack like we've been the past few seasons. But I'm not really expecting much out of us. If we make the playoffs, cool. It was fun getting to the playoffs after a 5-year drought last season. But I mean, obviously I want a little bit more than that. So I mean, hopefully we can get to the playoffs this year for the Reds, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Should be a good, fun MLB season.
Yep. All righty. My pick for the World Series. Oops, let me say it again. Burp a little bit. My pick for the World Series out of the NL, like you said, Dodgers. I mean, how can you not pick them? You win the World Series and then add Kyle Tucker. And not only that, Ohtani will be pitching the full season. So he will be ready to go and he will be in prime mode by the time the playoffs start. I mean, really the whole season, but especially by the time the playoffs start. And out of the AL, give me the Tigers. They've been right there. They've been close. And then they added an arm this offseason. I think that's really what they needed because they had a great bullpen. But the thing with the bullpen is, especially in the playoffs, if you don't have starter arms, the more them bullpen arms throw, they get more tired, and they're less effective. So I think getting another starter arm with Scooble, I think they finally break through this year. And the Yankees. Ah, man. I turned that game on. Yankees, what the hell are we doing? I mean, we were a prestigious franchise, and I looked up, and I knew we didn't do anything in the offseason, but I think it made it worse when I really looked at our lineup. And I saw Ryan McMahon back there, Caballero, which he was all right. He was solid last year. Austin Wells. I mean, the same, you rolled out the same team, and you just got blasted last year in the playoffs. Like, I don't understand what we're trying to accomplish. Like, yeah, I'm just speechless. When I turned the lineup on and seeing a lot of the same guys in the lineup, I was like, what are we? We're the Yankees. We have a bunch of money. Go spend it. Like, there's no way the Yankees, it's baseball. That's why everybody wants a cap in baseball, is because it's not fair. And you're New York, you're the Yankees, you're worth so much money. Hey, spend the money. Like, that's why everybody hates the Dodgers. But you know what? I can only hate the Dodgers so much because I wish my team would do that. And it's New
Yeah,
York, so I know they have money.
right.
I know the Yankees could do that. You're New York. You got the money. LA's doing it. But I don't know. They're cheap, maybe. You know, son ownership. Dad's not there. Son, dad, he wouldn't stand for this losing, but kid ownership. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And they're gonna do the same thing they did, you know, hit great and then get in the playoffs. They're gonna hit a bunch of home runs in regular season, score a bunch of runs, and then when it gets playoff time, they're gonna strike out a bunch and leave a bunch of runners on base. So that's what the Yankees do. So we'll see. They'll probably do it again this year, and they'll get my hopes up like they normally do and let me down. But that's it for that. Any other thoughts before we get out of here, Philly?
Was just a quick question? Where did Goldie go?
I ain't gonna. I can't. Uh,
uh,
I was checked out of the Yankees. Like when we didn't do
about to say,
anything.
check down at you.
Yeah, that's it. I see we didn't do anything. I was like, I mean, like, yeah, like I said, it's baseball. Spend money. You
Yeah.
have no cap. You have no like do what the Dodgers did. Otani's getting paid $2 million a year. Do that. But
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to. They don't want to spend the money. They want to make profit. But you know, hey, they're the Yankees, so they know they'll sell out tickets. Any other thoughts before we get out of here, Philly?
No, that'd be it for me.
All righty. See y'all when we see y'all.